Oh, there we go. We got everybody. Hello, everyone. My name is Chase Harrison. I'm the CEO of Alta Labs, and today I have Jeff Hansen, who's our Chief Technology Officer, as my co-host, and then we have our first ever returning guest, Ray from Libertas Consulting and TEKnowledge Worldwide. Ray, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having us. First time returning guest.
Yeah, it's huge. I think
This is
it's a
this is
trophy-worthy
amazing.
event. Yeah,
I
trophy-worthy
like it.
event.
I like
Or
it.
hat. But welcome to Alta Labs Live. We hold these every month, about the middle of every month. And for those of you who are first for joining, we'd like to try and invite a special guest as often as we can. Ray was with us. Geez, Ray, I think it was probably about a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago. We also use these live stream events to provide updates in the Alta Labs ecosystem, where Alta Labs will be in the world, and just provide some exciting insight into what's happening within the world of Alta Labs. So a couple of housekeeping items before we get started on new features, new updates with Jeff, is we would like to remind everyone these are recorded. So if this is your first time or your 22nd time, thank you for being here 22 times in a row. That's pretty incredible. But if you'd like to go back and look at any of the other ones, you can check them out on YouTube or LinkedIn or on the Meta platforms. We also have a live Q&A. So as we talk to Ray, as Jeff presents new features, we generally try and save our question and answers to the very end, and we will fill every question that comes in through whatever social platform you're on. You go ahead and just throw that into the chat there, and it gets piped into our dashboard here, and we'll get those responded to. If something comes up after the live stream, you're always welcome to email sales@alta.inc, whether it's a question for Ray, or question for Jeff, question for sales, and we'll make sure those questions get routed to Ray or the TKW group or something regarding text giving. We also have a giveaway at the end. If you are interested in participating in the giveaway, email your first and last name to win@alta.inc. And we this time will once again give away an AP6W and S12, and we haven't decided on our third prize yet. Jeff, we should probably figure that out. We can sort through that in a second, but a couple other announcements. I don't want to delay getting an opportunity to talk to Jeff and talk to Ray. Is first of all, I'd like to congratulate our installer of the month for August. We have AV Digital in Mexico is our actually, I think that may be our second installer of the month from Mexico. So congratulations, AV Digital. Landon and Jorge will be in touch with some, so we can get your plaque routed to you as well as some swag. I also wanted to make sure everyone knows, and Rob and Landon, maybe if you wouldn't mind throwing the Altitude 2000 registration link into the platforms, but want to announce officially, if you missed it, that Altitude 2000 is the second phase of our base camp training platform is live. It is free, and it is definitely our most in-depth training tier so far. And you will walk away from that being better educated in the world of networking and in the world of Alta Labs. So we'd love to have you participate in that and give us some feedback. We actually, when we announced that last week in our pop-up live stream, we rolled out an offer to give the first 5 people a t-shirt that completed that, and I want to give them a quick shout out. So congratulations, Dave Brockman, Donovan Choa, Andrew Kalkbrenner, Tiago Chavez, and Hank Kobe. Those guys jumped in there and got it knocked out. And that is no small feat. I think that's a 6-hour course.
Yeah, it's like 8 hours. So
8 hours.
Great job.
Yeah, huge shout out to you guys. So thanks for jumping in there. But we've had a massive registration surge, and we're seeing a lot of people knock those out. So hopefully you find that very helpful. Let's see. And then as far as where Alta will be in the world in the next couple months, we actually, next week, will be down in Colombia. There's a security fair, and Jorge from our team will be there. If you would like to set up a meeting with Jorge or like to know more about Alta Labs, email sales@alta.inc, and Jorge will reach out and confirm an appointment for you there in Colombia. And then he will also, the following week, be in the Dominican Republic with our distributor Cablecom. There's a launch event September 3rd. We'd love to have you find some time if you're going to be in the Dominican Republic to visit Cablecom and learn more about Alta Labs. And then finally, 2 more events will be in Denver, CEDIA, for CEDIA on September 2nd through the 4th. Our booth number is 3015. And then finally, Jeff will actually be journeying all the way over to Prague to participate in the, I always get this wrong, Wireless LAN Professionals Conference. Is that right, Jeff?
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. That's October 14th through 16th. So if you have Prague in your near future, try to make that happen in October. Never been. I've heard it's a beautiful place.
It's amazing.
It's cool. And one other thing I'll mention is if you're new to the Alta Labs ecosystem, or if you're new to these live streams and you'd like to give the Alta Labs gear a shot, we have what's called a Not for Resale program. You're welcome to go and apply for that. I'll have our marketing team maybe put the link in there as well, so you guys can go and apply for that, and our NFR team will be in touch with you to work on getting you some NFR gear. That's it, I think, for housekeeping. Jeff, did I miss anything?
I don't think so. Yeah, looks like
Okay.
we're good.
Fantastic. Let's Jeff, let's hold to you on the new features, and then Ray, we'll spend the rest of the time hearing what you've been up to.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Chase. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. This is our Alta HQ network right here. So the first feature I'm going to highlight in the last month is support for alternate servers on Tailscale. So we added support for Tailscale servers recently. That allows you to connect your Route 10 into your Telnet. You can set up, you can advertise different subnets that you want to have accessible on other parts of your Telnet, or run your Route 10 as an exit node very easily. So that's been there. Now you can also, if you don't want to be locked into the Tailscale ecosystem, you can also install something open source like Headscale. And you just type in the login URL and you can connect your Route 10 to that, to like a Headscale instance instead of Tailscale. So that's pretty cool if you want to be totally self-sustained on your own services. The next feature I'll go over is the ability to power cycle a whole bunch of ports at once. So I'll do this. This is a camera switch. You can see a whole bunch of cameras that are connected to these ports. To do that, it's really easy. You just use the multi-select. And I'm not going to actually do this right now, but let's say I want to power cycle every single one of these PoE ports on a switch. You can even choose a port that doesn't have PoE, and we'll just show you what it does. You just say power cycle, and it tells you, hey, you selected a port that doesn't have PoE. But if I say yes here, what it'll do is it'll in real time go through every single port. It splits it up so that it doesn't do them all at once, right? Because that would be a huge inrush of power to reboot them all at once. So it'll actually straddle it. It'll set it up so that each one is 300 milliseconds apart. So you don't have any power issues like that. So that's a pretty cool feature. Next one is a big one. So we actually launched MLO, multi-link operation support, for our AP7 Pro. So if you're running the latest firmware 3.0J and you go to your SSID settings here, you'll see a new setting here called MLO. Now you can see in the tooltip, it's not actually recommended for all environments. There are various reasons. It's a relatively new feature. I'll detail a little bit of this right now. So the most compatible way to run it right now, if you want to run MLO and use AltaPass at the same time with multiple passwords, is to set it up in dual band mode with MLO enabled. This will allow your devices to maximize their latency and throughput across those two radios, those two bands, but not break any compatibility with multi-passwords. Once you check this 6 gigahertz box, all of a sudden you're back into what we've talked about many times before, where WPA3 multi-password doesn't really work. And so only the password would work with MLO in that case. So if you want to roam across and use the different bands at the same time, you would need to make sure you're either using a single password or using an enterprise or an open network. Those also work very well with MLO as well. So yeah, that's about it. I think that's it for MLO. Yeah, I think once devices get better support, once we've figured out some of these multi-password issues, maybe we'll turn that on by default, but it's definitely not the time quite yet. So we'll get there.
Jeff,
yeah.
Jeff, sorry if I interrupt for just a second. Would you mind maybe just sharing a couple of your experiences, or maybe better said, what devices you actually are seeing that work well with MLO and what don't? Because I think it's like 99.99% don't.
Well, yeah. I mean, in our testing, we found some devices that just don't connect at all, like older devices, right? If you turn on MLO, still trying to understand those issues. So there is that. There's also, even more recent devices. For example, the iPhone 17 does support MLO, but it's not in a true like multi-radio fashion. So even Apple doesn't have a device that does that yet. If you look at Samsung, for example, a couple of their top tier, like the S26, do support MLO, multi-radio. So there are a handful of devices where you can actually maximize and use this feature efficiently as much as is possible right now, right? But that would only be available to those devices to maximize your latency and throughput. So another thing you can do, just a recommendation, if you want to maximize it on a certain device, you could potentially create an SSID just for that device, turn on MLO, and have just that device use that SSID and that connection to maximize it. So hopefully that answers most people's questions.
Awesome.
Is that okay, Chase?
I think so. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, cool. Next feature I want to go over is the ability to group. So, I have a lot of sites on my accounts, and it gets a little bit unruly if you have too many. So we added the ability to have different groups. So you can have, when you create or when you rename a site, it'll give you the option to set up a group for the site. And the cool thing too is, so you can give it a name, obviously. It also breaks it up so you can have subgroups. So you can have like a top level group called business or enterprise or schools or something like that. And then maybe a subgroup that describes the location. Even if you have like a specific location and you have multiple sites on an individual location, you could break it up that way. Once you've got that set up, it shows it in here. So you can see I've got a couple of sites from Chase's family here. So that's one easy way to get to it from the drop down here from anywhere. You can also go to the site manager, and there's a couple different ways to group, to view the groups that you have. So by default, it'll just show, the top alphabetically sorted sites on your account. You can also see which group it's in. And so this is just the normal view. If you want to go by group, if you've already grouped everything, it's nice because now you can drill down, and let's say you have a group named family here. Let's see. Oh, it's named Chase's family now. And you can go into just that group in the site manager as well. So there's several different ways to organize it. And we hope that this is, a convenience to you to hopefully organize everything and be able to access all of your different sites by groups now. Let's see, next feature is link lost events. I'm going to zoom out a little bit on this just so we can get a little bit more data here. This is a feature. So we've had people ask, how do I know when the last time an Ethernet link was lost on a certain port? So we recently rolled this out. It's been in the firmware for a while, just haven't nailed down the user interface until now. So we've pushed this out yesterday. You can go in here and let's say you have a switch that has a bunch of link lost events. So you see the traffic here is just a graph, but that little arrow at the top there indicates that there was a link lost on one of your ports at that time. And you can actually see how many times the link was lost. So if you hover over each of these hours, you'll see that during the hour of 7 a.m. 2 days ago, there were 27 link lost events on port 12 and 82 on port 42. And then you can drill down and see what those ports are here. Usually it's like desktops that are going into power safe mode, stuff like that. In other cases, it might be an actual problem that you need to resolve. And so this allows you to see how many times that link was dropped. We've got a lot of links down on this specific desktop. So anyway, we hope that that's really useful for diagnosing when you have, a port that just keeps going up and down and tries to renegotiate. A lot of times that could be, termination on the port. It could be the cable itself. It could be the device itself. It could be the switch port. So yeah, at least it gives you an indication of when it's happening and the periodicity of that. And then the last feature that we're going to go over right now in our all today is the ability to backup and restore configurations. This has been requested many times from many of our users. So you can actually download a backup of an individual device. Let's say you have a switch. It's not usually very interesting for like access points because those to be scalable, it's all driven by the site configuration. But let's say you have a switch configuration that you want to persist across, multiple different sites and make sure all the colors are the same, kind of like a template that you use on multiple sites. You can do that using this. So let's say you've got your switch all set up. You just go down to the settings here, go to advanced, and then you hit backup. And that will download a backup file that you can then take to any other site, any other device that's the same model, and then you just hit restore, and it will restore that configuration onto that switch or that router or that access point. This can also be used on routers. Let's say you have a bunch of VPN users and authentication. Let's say you want to be able to download that and just have it as an archive, right? Just in case something happens, you can download that backup and then restore it if something happens, or if you have to RMA a device and transfer that configuration to some other device. The other caveat with this is it also restores, in the Alta Labs ecosystem, we have this concept of DDNS, right? Every single device that's an Alta Labs device has a DDNS ID and host name, and that will automatically be restored as well by default. So this is especially important on like a Route 10. Let's say you've set up a whole bunch of VPN connections, a whole bunch of people's laptops where you got that host name and that WireGuard or whatever configuration already provisioned. You don't want that DDNS ID to change, right? Just because you're swapping out the Route 10 with some other Route 10. So if you restore it on that Route 10, it'll actually maintain that WAN DDNS IP address so that you don't have to worry about re-provisioning all of those VPN configs again on all those devices. So hopefully that covers that feature pretty well. And that's about it. Yeah, if you have any questions, you can reach out right now and we'll try to answer them.
Yeah, that's great. I'm excited about that link loss. That will be very enlightening.
Yeah, it definitely highlights some stuff that I didn't know before. So
yeah, I've got some cabling issues I'm gonna have to go fix. All right, well, thanks, Jeff. A couple of quick reminders for those that have just joined us. We are doing a giveaway. You can email your first and last name to win@alpha.inc. And for sure, we're giving away an S12 and AP6W. Third prize will be a secret until the very end. And then we are doing a live Q&A. So as Jeff mentioned, feel free to plug your questions in, especially as they come up as we discuss. I've just finished discussing features, and then we'll talk to Ray about everything he's been up to. Just plug those questions into whatever social platform that you are in currently, and those will get routed into our dashboard here. So Ray, let's thank you again for being here and being our first return guest. I'm sure most of our audience knows who you are, but for those that don't, would you mind taking just a minute and introducing yourself to the audience? Where have you been? What do you do? Why do you do it?
So currently I'm sweating in a 400-year-old farmhouse that apparently is haunted. The only thing that I know it's haunted with is mice and other critters that have lived in the crawl space with Sean and I for the last couple of days. But my name is Ray Cline. I am the owner, founder of Libertas Consulting, as well as TEKnowledge Worldwide. And TEKnowledge Worldwide is a community of installers, MSP integrators, just like me, that have businesses all around the world and all around the country that get together, do really good things, elevate the industry, and teach each other by example. The way that I can describe it. Doesn't matter what field you're in technology. If you're an MSP, a cable puller, an AV guy, security guy, there's a place for you in our community. We started as an online community, and we very quickly became an in-person / online community because we get together multiple times a year to do really cool projects together. And that's kind of what I wanted to come on and talk again about today, which is our Techsgiving initiative. So where do you want to start, Chase?
Well, I guess first of all, how did you get into? Just give a little more background. How did you get into the tech industry, the tech space? Where does what was the catalyst for that? Punishment.
That is a, yeah, punishment is the right word, right? That is a really, 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 really long story that would require a couple adult beverages someday, which I'm happy to have with you. But the long story short is when I was young, my father used to run, if anybody here is as old as me, remembers bulletin board services. And that was what the thing was before the internet was cool. My dad was running this out of our house. So, at 10, 12 years old, I was already ingrained in all of this, dial up internet technology, so to speak. And I started running and helping build that. And then ultimately, something clicked, right? It's like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, building networks. And here we are.
That's
30
great.
some years later, I'm still doing it.
Evolved into Libertas, huh?
It did.
So what markets do you focus on? Are you predominantly East Coast? You go worldwide, just in the United States?
So all of our clients for the most part are, East Coast based out of the Philadelphia metro area. But, thanks to TEKnowledge, I've got contracts all across the country because I can rely on the other people in my community to be the boots on the ground when we need them. So that's it's really cool and it's really interesting. But we focus on small to medium sized businesses. We are more of a consulting business, and I say that knowing I've got a wall behind me that we're building right now. But a lot of times we go in and consult on projects, and they end up saying, "Well, you gave us the roadmap. Why don't you just go do it for us?" And that's what we end up doing.
Got it.
So it's brought us to some really cool places.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So.
I've only seen a sample of some of the stuff you've been involved in. It's pretty impressive. So I can imagine, especially with as long as you've been in it.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe take a minute too, and we mentioned briefly TEKnowledge Worldwide. I know that you and Pierce and a couple others were kind of the founding fathers of TEKnowledge Worldwide. Why did you spin that group up? What was the catalyst behind that? And how did you guys get to where you were at today? I mean, maybe talk a little bit about how many members you've got.
Sure. So, Pierce is the person that got me involved in this whole community over competition mentality, right? He reached out to me on Instagram, said, "Hey man, you're doing some really cool work. Would love to meet up sometime." And Pierce is in Pennsylvania. And that spun into being a part of an organization that led us to build this organization. We saw that in the technology field, there were so many people that needed help, that needed to learn how to do things the right way, that needed coaching, whether they were green or veterans. Everybody can learn from everybody else. So we built this community, and it's grown. We're 600 plus some odd users all around the world. And it's a really cool thing when you've got this group of people that should be competitors that are in the same space, that instead of going, "Hey, you're in my area, you're taking business from me," it's like, "Oh wait, you're an MSP in Philly. Why don't you come do this job with me? Why don't you come help me, learn how you do things? I've seen your work on Instagram. I've seen your work somewhere. How do you do what you do? What products do you use? Why do you use Alta Labs over something else?" And it allows us to, give them that knowledge that we have that normally takes years to gather. Mm-hmm. So I think it started by seeing there was a fundamental need and a fundamental desire for people in this industry that are sometimes 1, 2, 3 employees to have other people to lean on, to learn and to teach each other by example.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's pretty incredible. Obviously, as we participate in TKW, and both on social and in the Slack channels, right? Seeing the community over competition. I mean, I've lost track how many people say, "Hey, I need somebody to run down to Dallas," or "I need this help in this city. Is anyone there available?" And more often than not, the need gets filled, and people are able to kind of help each other out, which I think is incredible. You guys have built something awesome.
Yeah, and it's a byproduct of what has happened that we never set out to do. We just set out to be able to find people that were, how can we help you? Like, what can we teach you? What can we show you? And it turned into, because of these in-person events that we do, it turned into, I have worked with Pierce, I've worked with Ray, I've worked with Sean. I know the quality of his work because I've been in the literal trenches with them. So I know if I send them to a site that the work quality is just going to be amazing. You don't get that from using third-party services that we won't mention in here. But you get that by being a part of a community of people that you work with day in and day out.
Yeah, agreed. So, Ray, for those that maybe are hearing about this for the first time and want to get involved or want to become a member, how would they go about doing that?
So you can just go to our website. It's TEKnowledge.org, and there's buttons to join. There's buttons for all of our events. There's buttons to kind of take you anywhere that you need to be. Thanks for putting that link up. We appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks.
And you can find out all about our community, all about our members, about the events that we've done, both upcoming and past, so that you can kind of see where we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. One of the big ones that one of the primary reasons I wanted to have Ray out was they've spun up something special, honestly, in my opinion. And it actually inspired Alta to go out and start its own, what we call Alta Gives Back. You'll see this really cool border that our marketing team's put together. Rob was a little worried it looked like some NASCAR sponsorships, but definitely does not look like NASCAR, Rob. I think it looks very beautiful. But anyways, Ray, I'd love to maybe, is that the next event, TEKsgiving, by the way, for the TKW group?
Yeah, we've got a golf outing coming up next week. So if anybody's in the Philadelphia area wants to golf, you would need to register by tomorrow, but there are links on that website. We've got a fundraiser coming up for this event 2 weeks from now. So all that information is on the website.
Awesome.
But the next actual big in-person event where everybody, attends is called TEKsgiving. It's in October and it's in Philadelphia. And this year we're supporting the Ronald McDonald House.
That's
and
awesome.
So this is our fifth. So this is our fifth TEKsgiving event. We call it TEKsgiving because it always falls in between Canada's Thanksgiving and the United States' Thanksgiving. And one of our members, yeah. So, we're like, what do we call this thing where we've just got a bunch of tech nerds showing up to do really cool stuff? And one of the members said, we should call it TEKsgiving, and it stuck. And so we've kind of been using that name for the last 4 or so years. But this is our fifth project. And in the last 5 years, we've donated nearly $1 million in product and services to the recipients of this. And it's all funded by our vendors, our partners, and our members. So we give the recipient, what this is we give whatever that recipient is that year, the donation of a technology overhaul. And that could be a brand new network, all new structured cabling, cameras, security, access control, wireless networking. It's literally whatever that recipient needs the most is what we build for them.
That's incredible. Well, maybe taking a step back, Ray, how did TKW, what was the catalyst there? Why'd you guys want to do something where you could get back to the community? Was there, I would love to understand maybe the backstory and how you guys got to the point where now you're doing this consecutively at $1 million. That's impressive. That's huge.
Yeah, especially for a brand new nonprofit, right? At the end of the day, we're only 5 years old as a nonprofit. So the way that this started is I used to be on the board of the local chamber of commerce in my area. And it was a really cool venue. It was like a museum. And the director came to me and he said, hey, listen, I need to find a way to bring students to come see our museum. I need to find a way to bring more people to love history. And I said, the only way they're going to do it is technology. And he goes, well, there's no way that technology is going to make my hay bed exciting, because this was like literally it used to be a school, a library, it used to be the town hall, because that's the way things were back then, right? And I said, if we could get you technology, then could you use that to do live demonstration, live videos? Could you bring more AV in? And he goes, I think that's a great idea. So I did a walkthrough. And for him at the time, he was looking at $30,000 in networking equipment, cameras, things like that, TVs to make this happen. And he said, Ray, there's no way in the world that we could ever afford that. And I said, let me call some friends. So I called some of the people from TKW and I said, hey, would you be willing to come to Philly on a weekend and do this work with me? And then I would call some of our vendors and I'd say, hey, would you be willing to donate some wire, some product? And I said, I think this is something really cool that nobody is doing. And they're like, yeah. So it was crazy because it happened during COVID, which was the craziest thing. We still had 30 some people show up. All the equipment showed up, and we still were able to give this museum this gift of technology. And that's what sparked what is the current day enormous mountain that we're climbing. That is TEKsgiving. So it started there, and here we are today.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, so before we talk about this year's project a little bit further detail, last year was the first time Alta got involved with I believe it's the Sojourner House. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
It is.
And so that was a center for, or a home for, I believe, battered children or women or both.
Well, yeah, it's a safe haven for women and children, but it's also they're trying to stop sex trafficking is one of their biggest missions.
Cool.
So they've got numerous homes all throughout Rhode Island, and we were able to help 4 of their facilities last year
That's
with
cool.
upgrading their network security, access control. It was insane.
Yeah. So, and that was all done in just a couple days, right? A complete overhaul, 4 locations.
Yeah, that's the goal is, we kind of liken it to Extreme Home Makeover Nerd Edition is what we call it. It's, we basically want to, in a weekend or a long weekend, do a full technology overhaul. And, we go in there on a Thursday, Friday, and we leave there on a Sunday, and they have everything that they asked for is brand new. So
Yeah.
it's a testament to how much you can get a group of people that don't really know each other from all walks of life coming on site to do the thing that we all love doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we sent Cole out there from our sales team, and
Yep.
he said it was absolutely incredible.
We put him to work. It was great.
Yeah. I love it to do it again this year.
Yep.
Well, this year, as you mentioned, Ray, there's a little bit of a mountain to climb. There's a big project in front of the TKW group. You mentioned Ronald McDonald House. Yeah, could you maybe let's share a little bit more about that? How big is the need, and what's outstanding, and what you guys raised?
So Ronald McDonald House is massive. So Philadelphia is the home to the very first Ronald McDonald House, and there's obviously
Oh,
locations
it's the
all
first.
around the world.
Yeah, cool.
And they do such amazing things. They're basically helping families. They give them a place to stay while their kids are getting their treatments in the local hospitals. So families from all around the world, because Philadelphia has also got one of the best children's hospitals in the world, they come to Philadelphia and they stay there anywhere from a few nights to a year at a time. So they are known as the busiest hotel in Philadelphia, is what Ronald McDonald House is. They're always open and they're never vacant. Their rooms are always full. They've got 2 locations in Philadelphia, servicing about 160 families a night. So, in their 2 locations, the need is the biggest is their access control. So all of the, you imagine you go to a hotel and you present a fob to the door to let you into your room. They have a system similar to that, but it's been failing. So imagine you've got 130 door locks, 160 door locks across the 2 properties, and the locks are starting to fail. So they need a system that they can rely on so that their families can get in. Then now you take, okay, well, they also need wireless so that the families can communicate throughout each of their suites, right? They need to communicate with their family members back home, have their virtual doctor's visits, do homeschooling, do everything that they need to do while they're at the facility. So then you take it back to the next network layer, which is now they've got a network that has to manage all of that across all of the properties. And then you take that even a step further. And now you've got, okay, well, now we've got all these people in a building and we've got all these office employees in a building. Well, now we need to secure it. So now we need locks on the outside of the building that we've got to figure and get onto the network. And now we've also got to deal with cameras so we make sure all the people that are in the property outside of the property are safe. So it's all of the funding that Ronald McDonald House gets goes to take care of the families. It goes to feed the families, keep the people, transportation back and forth. None of the money that Ronald McDonald House receives goes to technology. It's just, if you have the choice to feed a person or upgrade your wireless, you're going to feed a person, right? And that's where TKW comes in. We can give them that gift of technology, assuming that we can also raise all the funds that we need and get all of the equipment that we need, because for the first time ever, TKW is, I keep looking at this mountain that we're looking at, and it's like a great acronym for Alta Labs, right? The summit. We're looking up and we're going, okay, how do we get all this technology that we need, and how do we make this work? And so we do the same thing that we do every year. We fundraise, we ask our vendors and our partners to be a part of it, and the cash helps pay for all of the things that we could not get donated. So that's where we are. I think you asked me earlier where we are from a fundraising standpoint.
Yep.
I think we've raised about $45,000 in cash, which is amazing. We need 300,000 though. So we've got a very massive delta that we need to get to in order to be able to purchase everything that we can. But we've also had fantastic donations from our partners that have always helped us throughout all of these things. And I know Alta Labs is helping us as well. So it's just now coordinating all of those efforts and bringing people in and making sure we're feeding people and making sure that we're entertaining people while they're in town. And because everybody that comes to these events is coming on their own dime, right? Everybody that comes is paying for their own travel. They're paying for their own, hotels. So we want to make sure that while they're there, they're not thinking about, oh, I also have to worry about feeding myself, or I've got to worry about transportation to and from the hotel. Like, we're coordinating all of that as part of this project.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's incredible.
That was a lot. So I'm sorry for anybody else that has heard me babble for the last 10 minutes.
That's exactly what we wanted.
Yeah, well, it's a lot.
I really had no, and this is shame on me, I did not understand the breadth and depth of the Ronald McDonald House and what they were touching. Ray, you put me on the line with, I believe he's the director of IT for Ronald McDonald House. I think it was last week. And just to even, for a brief moment, understand what exactly the pull is. I didn't realize it. I think it's Shriners. Is it a Shriner Hospital there? Or is that
I don't know if Shriners is part of their system. It may be, but it's for sure. It's in the same parking lot as St. Christopher's Hospital. And it is within a half a mile of Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, which is world renowned. So their biggest location is that 130 apartments that, you can almost throw a dart at shop from their facility.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And the thing that he mentioned, the director of IT, is that a lot of these guys just want to be able to, after their procedure day or whatever, and go back there, be able to call home to grandma or call home to other siblings that are left home, and they're not currently able to do that through most of the facility, and even manage personal affairs. And so, really kind of plugged at the heartstrings a little bit for me, if I'm being honest. That I, sparing the details, a long time ago, we had a deal where we ended up having to stay in a children's hospital for one of our little brothers. And we didn't have to, fortunately, we didn't have to go through some of that, but to know just a little bit or a glimpse of the families, what they're going through, and then for them not to be able to manage expenses or check in on their house or call home, I mean, that's tough, man. That's tough. So I think the fact that you guys are trying to change that is awesome.
Thank you. And, we're really excited, because honestly, Ronald McDonald House is not easy to get in, right? They are very protective with who they let in their facility, and they're very protective of, are you going to put in the right solution? Are you bringing us the right products? Not because they're not welcoming. It's because they care so much about their families. They need to make sure that the right solutions are put in place that are long-term for them. And, for me, every time I walk into the Ronald McDonald House, you see how happy these really sick children are. They're just playing and they're spending time with their families. Like, when you walk into that place, you feel like you're in their home. You don't feel like you're in a building. You feel like you're literally, I was there the other day, and like, I was playing basketball with one of the kids, and the kid whooped on me. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, I wanted to dunk on this kid to prove a point.
Yeah.
But like, how do you do that? And it was just, they were so much fun, and it's one of the best experiences of my life, and I'm so fortunate that I'm able to do this. It is very stressful knowing that we've got this big burden on our shoulders. They're like, okay, cool, you landed the Ronald McDonald House. Now you gotta come through. So it's amazing.
That's awesome. I can speak to that. I mean, I've never stayed at a Ronald McDonald House, but just speaking of how hard it is to get in, like in Utah, I think they fill up, I don't know how many months in advance. We've tried to help with like breakfast and lunch and dinners, like serving opportunities, food, and it's hard to even get in there. But really? Yeah, my brother and sister-in-law actually stayed there for a while at the one in Salt Lake City. And yeah, like you said, every time you go there, it's inspiring just to hear every child's story, every family, and what they're going through, and the amazing work that Ronald McDonald House is trying to help kind of divert their attention away from these really serious things that are going on in their lives. And just to speak to like technology and how important that is, like I had the opportunity a long time ago to donate a couple of Nintendo Fun Centers to Primary Children's Hospital, which is, people stay in Ronald McDonald's in Salt Lake, and then their kids are like being treated at Primary Children's Hospital. often. And yeah, the kids, that Nintendo Fun Center was just like always busy, and the doctors were always saying, yeah, we need to get the kids on this because it creates a real diversion that helps them, not stay so focused on what's going on in with their body or whatever. So it's definitely inspiring, and yeah, it's amazing that we get to participate and play a little part in this.
And you nailed it, Jeff. Like, that's what I say to everybody. Like, we get to do this, right? Like, this isn't work. This is something that we all love doing, and we're so fortunate that this year it happens to be this absolutely amazing cause. So we're very fortunate.
Absolutely. Agreed. Well, and speaking of that mountain to climb, 300,000, and you've raised about 45, it sounds like. Alta's contributed about $25,000 in gear at retail, and that's still a long ways to go. So hopefully those that are listening or will listen, this inspires some desire to participate either monetarily or from some sort of a gear donation. So Ray, how would those listening be able to contribute, whether it's contribution, donation, or just showing up, or both, all three?
Yeah. So if one of you guys could put this link up, this would be amazing. So somebody already shared our donation link, and very fun thing. I am matching until the 25th. I'm matching $25,000 in contributions. So for the next week, I will be matching dollar for dollar up to $25,000 for all donations that are received. So that's one. So if you go to donate.techsgiving.org, all of those dollars that are donated will be matched up to $25,000. If you want to join the event, or if you want to help us with equipment, we can, please reach out. You can email charity@techsgiving.org. We can tell you, we can give you a list of equipment that we need. Or if you join our community and you join our Slack community, you'll know pretty quickly the stuff that we're looking for. And all of those links are on these pages. If you want to attend the event, we love people in this field to join. You can just go to join.techsgiving.org. You fill out a quick form, and it lets us know, who you're coming. It's just a registration site. We're not going to spam you. We're not going to send you a bunch of emails. We just have to let Ronald McDonald House know who's coming. So, and again, we'll feed you. We'll take care of you. On the TechsGiving website, there are links. We've got discounted hotel rates. Our discount right now is we are at Live Casino Hotel in Philadelphia, which is pretty amazing. They gave us a rate of like $225 a night. The stay there is $700 a night, so they gave us a pretty significant discount to stay awesome there. And we've got a lot of stuff planned. Like, you are going to be, TKW was founded in Philadelphia. Our very first event was in Philadelphia. So this, as our 5-year anniversary, is kind of like bringing it home. So we want to make this one as special as we can for everybody that attends.
Yeah, that's cool. That's great. Well, and for everybody who's listening, I definitely encourage you to check out all the links that Ray said and see what you can do to help support the Ronald McDonald House in Philadelphia. I think that would be awesome. We got quite a ways to go, but I think we can get there.
Yeah, I appreciate the time. I don't know how much you want to know about this wonderful project that I'm working on here, but it is all Alta gear. So
that's great.
Awesome.
And the rumor that it's haunted, I can't wait to see what you run into when you finish that project up.
I haven't seen anything yet, but our when we were leaving yesterday, our car was already started, and I looked at Sean. I'm like, "Did you start the car?" And he goes, "No." So apparently the ghost wanted us out. So
there you go. He's ready for you to get.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's great. Well, I mean, out of curiosity's sake, what is going into that house? Are you is that seeing some Wi-Fi 7 stuff? Are you keeping her tried and true Wi-Fi 6?
No, it's all Wi-Fi 7. So we got our hands on some, which was awesome. And we had one of our friends come out and survey it because this is literally, a farmhouse that was built in the 1600s or 1700s. So the walls are as wide as I am. So we've got, I think we've got about 6 APs going in, 7 APs to cover the whole property. I think this property is 6 or 7 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms. But it's beautiful, but the walls are really, really, really thick. So we've pulled a lot of cable. They're making part of the building an office for the staff that is going to run this. And this is going to become like a transient house, is what this is going to be. People from the local community that need a place to stay for a couple nights, they'll be able to stay here. Yeah, it's great. So we've got, 6 or 7 APs going in. We've got a 24 port switch, a Route 10. It's just fun, man. I mean, this stuff just works. You plug it in and it just works. So it makes my job easy. And Sean, who's running around installing the AP somewhere, he's been able to learn so much by using this product. He's just like, he's like, dude, I can do this stuff without you. And I'm like, well, cool. Can you please? That would be great. I can stay in the office.
Got some other stuff to do.
Yeah, it's like I got other things to do. That'd be great.
Yeah,
yeah. No, it's
cool.
it's all it's fun.
Yeah, that's an awesome project. Love to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, anything else, Jeff or Ray, that you guys would like to touch on, whether it's TKW or Thanksgiving, before we jump over to Q&A?
I don't have anything else. Yeah.
All right. Well,
questions.
Yeah, let's jump into Q&A. A couple other quick reminders. If you have any questions for Ray, specifically while we've got him here, please submit those to whatever social media platform that you're tuning into the live stream for. And if you miss us and you're watching this recorded, you're welcome to email the links that Ray's already shared with you. You're also welcome to email sales@alta.inc, and we'll wrap those over to Ray and his team to get those taken care of. We also are doing our giveaway. Email your first and last name to win at alta.inc. And we will jump to the top of our question and answers here. Questions. Let me scroll over to the top. All right. Looks like we've got some feedback regarding Altitude 2000. Altitude 2000. That's great. People loving that. That's awesome. We got Jason. Thanks for being here, Jason. Looks like some additional votes for NetBird support. That's starting to come up more and more.
Yeah, definitely hearing more and more about it. Don't have any timeline on that yet, but yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Got some good feedback on MLO from Jason, actually. Thanks, Jason, for that. And then Colin from TechOut. Love to hear this. Thanks for jumping on that. This firmware update just came out last night, so it's awesome to see. First question looks like it may be from Russell2323. This one is assuming passwords are encrypted for VPN users, etc., in the backup files.
Good question. So this was an intentional decision. We don't currently encrypt that, and that's mostly because we've focused on just the ease of use. If you want to be able to go in and change people's passwords easily. I don't know how many times I've downloaded a backup or a configuration and had to figure out how to reverse engineer the passwords. It's very frustrating. So we might add the ability to encrypt it via a passphrase and then be able to restore that with a passphrase. As long as you know it, you'll be able to restore it. But right now, yeah, it's just plain text.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff, and thanks, Russell2323, for the question. Ray got a shout out from Hank Kobe. You're gonna keep up the good work, he says. Let's keep going here. Let's see. Next question. This Lana, thank you for submitting this. This is from Instagram, Smart Hand Services. Actually, Smart Hand Services. I'll take just a moment to recognize Smart Hand Services. They're doing a sponsored event in California, I believe, Eagle Rock, California. It's the Eagle Rock Recreation Center, where he's got a booth there talking about Alta Labs and their services and the tech. So that's, I believe that is August 23rd. So if you happen to be around Eagle Rock, California, it's definitely worth checking out. There's going to be some Alta Labs gear that you can go lay your hands on, I believe. The question is, will these new features be discussed in Basecamp? So I'm assuming he's talking about the features that you covered earlier, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, we just released them. I'm sure they'll work their way into YouTube videos as we release those knowledge-based articles. I'm sure we'll get them in at some point, but yeah, none of these are documented yet, like, for example, in Basecamp 2000. But yeah, I'm sure at some point.
Yeah, I guess that's always a little tricky too, right? We've got 1,000, 2,000. We'll work on 3,000 and have that out by the end of the year, but 3,000 is meant to be quite a bit more technical And then as we're continuing to roll out new features, that'll age some of the content. So I think a general refresh cycle will just naturally take place with our stuff. But yeah, to Jeff's point, the first thing that will come out is KB articles and our YouTube videos. All right, next, another shout out from Russell regarding, it sounds like he had a personal experience with NICU as well, and thankfully did not need to run a McDonald's house, so that's cool. Thanks for the support and shout out, Russell. And actually, believe it or not, that is all the questions that we have in the chat. Let's see if I missed any. We have actually hit our goal of being out in an hour.
Wow. Amazing.
First time we've done that in ever, really. Awesome. Well, so thank you everybody for being here. We'll jump over to our giveaway. I'll just get Landon maybe a second to do. Oh, he's already on top of it. He's got the wheel of names here. Let's see if that'll actually pull up. So we need to decide what we're going to do for our third prize here.
Mystery
prize.
Be
able to round up an AP7 Pro.
Oh.
Maybe we do. We throw an AP7 Pro in there.
That'd be cool.
Let me get this shared out. All right, let's start. Let's do AP6W, S12, AP7 Pro. And we'll do it in that order. All right, here we go. Sharing the screen. Get this pulled up. I like this appropriate image here in the middle, Landon. Thank you for not giving any of us a beard or long hair or something like that. All right, first up, AP6W. Let's see who takes it. This goes to, Leon, or Lean DeBrawl. Congratulations, Lean. Landon will be in touch with you on that AP6W. Let's go to the next one. This would be the S12. Congratulations, Glenn Quest. Landon will also reach out to you on that one. And then finally, second Pro. And again, it may be a little bit of a delay. We're selling those things faster than we can make them. But we will get you an AP7 Pro. And this one looks like it's going to be Pedro Bingham. Congratulations, Pedro. It's exciting. All right. Ray, anything else that we missed or anything that come to mind after the fact that you want to share or touch on?
No, I'd love to have all your members join us in Philly in October. We'd love to meet everybody. I mean, we're almost as much fun as you can possibly have doing an install.
I bet.
The most fun you'll ever have doing nerd stuff, I promise.
Yeah. I believe that wholeheartedly based on the activity I see in the Slack channels. So that's cool. Well, and Ray, thank you for being here. And thanks for your community effort, for making the overall tech community better, and for your for the push on the Ronald McDonald House and the overall Techsgiving project. Like I mentioned, that's inspired us to start Alta Gives Back. And actually, maybe I'll do just a quick plug on Alta Gives Back. So we are definitely contributing to Techsgiving, and thanks to one of the owners of Alta Labs, we're able to take that and magnify that and do more beyond that. If you have a project that involves a nonprofit that needs help doing either a small upgrade, a medium-sized upgrade, a little bit larger of an upgrade, we have an application that you can go fill out, and then our management team will review that and approve them as long as it meets certain criteria, right? And if I can ask the marketing team to also maybe throw the Alta Gives Back link in the social media platforms, that'll give you a little more detail there, right? And we try to approve everybody as far as if it's a worthy need, it's an eligible need, right? We'd like to give back every chance we get. So. But again, kudos to Ray and his team and the TKW group. That was really the catalyst inspiration for that. So, but again, Ray, thank you for being here. Jeff, anything from your side? Anything we missed?
No, just thank you everybody for watching. Really appreciate all you Alta Labs fans. And if you have any feature requests or comments, you can always reach out to us. We're pretty active on the forum.alta.inc. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. And I'll add my thanks to that as well. Thank you everybody for being here. We know time is money. We did keep it at an hour this time. That's our goal, is to keep it about an hour. But we also want to make sure we answer all your questions. So after the fact, feel free to email sales@alta.inc. Also, make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter and following us on all the social platforms. We have some additional special guests from now to the end of the year planned out that it will find. I think you'll find will be very interesting. One of which is actually a very large community venue where we're deploying something that's going to support over 2,500 guests and be very seasonal. So I'd love to dive into that with you guys and share exactly how that project looks. But again, for now, thank you for your time. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being Alta Labs fans, and we look forward to seeing you again in September.
Thank you.